I'm entitled. You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Some Giant fans just can't handle the truth, but you know what? We've said it before. The Truth Show is such a free. This is Tim's your Giant Straight Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC. Want to talk about Saquon Barkley and the franchise tag? Want to talk about tag? You're not it. It seems highly unlikely, and it wouldn't even make a lot of sense to tag Saquon Barkley. You'd be using the tag for the second year in a row. You'd be paying more than the $10.2 million you paid him last year. The tag period started yesterday, which was Tuesday, and runs through March 5th. It just doesn't make sense. It does not make fiscal sense where the way the Giants sit right now with the salary cap. Running back tag last year was 10.1. Tag him again, it's going to be a 20% raise, a $2 million bump, which puts it at $12 million into 2024. You're not going to pay Barkley $12 million in 2024. You're just not. I mean, honestly, you just can't. You can't financially with this team because you're gonna devoid the team. For all the people that are out there now that are capologists, I love how we've been doing the cap for years, but now every time I turn around, there's a new video saying, you need to do this and you need to do that. You can't do this and you can't do this and you got to do this and this and this and this and they can't do this.
Now, I don't know what that means, but it sounds pretty bad.
It does sound pretty bad. But the people that are doing a lot of this cap scenarios don't understand the intricate workings of the cap, which is why some of these things, these scenarios they create are laughable. So right now, a $12 million tag, a $12.1 million tag number for Saquon Barkley, fully guaranteed, it's just not going to happen. Barkley turns 26, or he turned 26 on February 27th. You look at league history. The shelf life of a running back usually tails off at 27. There are examples of that fountain of youth. I mean, Adrian Peterson is the one that comes to mind. Before he retired, you had Barry Sanders. Tiki Barber was down that trail as well. But it's just one of those things that you also have the Sean Alexanders in the world. I mean, you have this. A lot of times there's an age that running backs hit that plateau, and that their body work just tails off. So you're not going to pay $12 million for a guy who was essentially your offense the last two seasons, which no one can really deny. I know some people can deny it, but then they turn around and say, "No, I never said that." I'm not looking at any other I'm not looking at any other content creators in particular. Just there's some nuts that were all up on Daniel Jones, and now they can't seem to they just don't seem to know where he is. But if you don't go with Saquon, what are you gonna do? You can't go with the likes of Eric Gray. Eric Gray is just not the guy, guys. You could see it in college, you could see it the first year in the pros. I've showed the pictures of me with Eric Gray, and when I'm bigger than Eric Gray, I have concerns about him being our every down back. He doesn't have the acceleration. He can't get through the line. Can he catch the ball out of the backfield? Yes, he can, but he's not going to get you much yak after that. He showed in college he got pulled down from behind, and he showed in the pros that he can't burst through the line. Just the way it is. I mean, I like I said, I don't make up the film. I don't make up the film that when you watch somebody. So you're gonna have to go out and get a running back. So the first thing you're gonna think of, you know what we're gonna do? We are gonna have to mount up. We're gonna mount up and go to the draft. I don't really think there's many running backs that are. When I say there are many running backs or any running backs in this draft that we take in the first round, there will always be surprises. But this isn't a class that I look at right now and say, hey, you know what? This is a draft for running backs. You got Blake, what's his name? Blake Corum, the kid out of Michigan. I think he averaged 4.8 yards last year. He totaled what do you have, like 2,200 yards, something like that, and 27 touchdowns, 16 receptions, 117 yards. Did he have 27 touchdowns? I don't even remember. He's got starter ability on him, yeah. A little short at 5'8", little Joe Morris-esque at 213 pounds. Is he that everyday back? I don't know. 2022, we had another good season. We had 5.9 yards at over 1,400 yards and 18 touchdowns. He's not going to give you much out of the backfield, like I said, reception-wise. But also, that's not what they did a lot at Michigan. But are you going to waste a second or third round pick? I wouldn't say it's a waste because you don't have anybody right now. You got Jonathan Brooks, the kid out of Texas. Tough inside runner. 6.1 yards a carry, 1,139 yards and 10 touchdowns. He's got some quickness. He's got some size. He's got some athleticism. He reminds me of Robinson, who came out last year a little bit. 6 feet, 207. Again, not a bruising back, but a guy that can potentially fill in as a back. I like Bucky Irving. First of all, I just like Bucky Irving's name. There's two players I like, Bucky Irving, and we're going to get to the other guy in a minute. Irving, though, is only 5'10", 195. So if I extrapolate that and I use the college math in reference to measurements, he's probably about 5'9", 180. Because that's just the way it works. I mean, he was a force for the Ducks. Shifty guy, got the quickness, can easily get into the second level. He's got that burst of speed, averaged 6.3 yards last year on 1,180 yards and 11 touchdowns. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. That's why I like him. 56 catches for 413 yards. I think only 2 touchdowns. But like I said, he can catch the ball out of the backfield. He was over in Minnesota for his freshman year before he transferred over to Oregon. Is he a product of Bo Nix? That was a joke. Or is Bo Nix a product of Bucky? But like I said, I think he can be an every down back, and he's a back that can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's kind of, in some regards, he has a little bit of Barkley in him. He's a little Barkley-esque. I think Bucky, like I said, and plus his name's Bucky. That's just the greatest thing right there. Your name is Bucky. You're a football player. You also have. I also like Trey Benson out of Florida State. Bigger back. You know what? I talked about Keenan Johnson going after him, and you take a look at Trey. Excuse me. Why am I calling him Trey? Trey. 6'1", 220, downhill runner. Finishes off his runs well. Not afraid of contact. He had over 900 yards and 14 touchdowns. He was able to catch the ball a little bit too with 20 receptions for 227 yards and a touchdown. Became the starting running back over in 2022. Top-notch guy. And again, like I said, he could catch the ball out of the backfield. He's got that receiving ability. If he goes to the combine and shows his speed, and if he goes to his pro day and shows his ability to catch the ball, he could be a winner. He could be a winner. I also like Jalen Wright out of where's Jalen out of? Tennessee. That's right. 5'11", 210 pounds. And another guy that's got a nice burst. He's got a little bit of quickness. Again, is he predicated more towards the Tennessee offense with his 7.4 yards per carry, over 1,013 yards and 4 touchdowns on only 137 carries, and he still dragged in 22 passes for 141 yards. With a good workout, with a good combine, and shows his speed, I think he's a guy that probably is projected in the 4th round. If he goes to the combine, shows what he can do, has a good pro day, hell, he's a guy that can come up into the 2nd round. Potentially high end of the 3rd round. And like I said, but is he at that every down back? No. Honestly, he is not that every down back. Not at all. But he's a guy that you can use on 3rd down. He's a guy that can catch ball in the backfield. He's a guy that can help open up the field. He's got, like I said, he's got that shiftiness. He's got that quickness. He's got that second gear. The last one on my list that I would look at, like I said, I like the big backs. I like the dominant running backs. And what I like is guys like Carson Steele out of UCLA. Now, people forget he was a big-time runner in Ball State back in 2022, averaging 5.4 yards, totaling 1,556 yards and 14 touchdowns. Also caught 29 passes that year and a score for 166. Big back, good size, good quickness, good downhill running ability. 6'1", 225 pounds. He's a little bit of a bruiser. transferred over to UCLA. He went into Chip Kelly's offense. And like I said, he is a guy that can be a dominant runner. He had 167 carries for 847 yards, 5.1 yards a carry, 6 touchdowns, only caught 17 passes and went for 163 and 2 scores as well. But like I said, he is a guy that if you take a look at in the later rounds, I would say anywhere between from the 4th to the 5th round, I think he could be someone special. I think he could be one of those guys you could grab in the later half of the draft and be a replacement for Barkley. He's got the size, he's got the strength, he's got the speed. There are ways to get around replacing Barkley, but the problem is Barkley is a huge part of your offense. Barkley is that guy that basically, I always talk about Darryl Strawberry when they used to say he was the straw that stirred the drink for the 86 Mets. Technically, it was more Keith Hernandez. I know Gary Carter likes to try to did before he passed away, R.I.P. He tried to take a lot of claim for that 86 team, but the hero of that team and the guy that made that team go was Keith Hernandez. The rest, if you ever watched this special from Flushing to whatever it was a 4-part series, I think, on 30 for 30. The whole team talked about everything that Keith Hernandez did, he brought to that team. That was the most important part. But like I said, it's not a great draft for running back depth. It is a good draft. There are some guys that can be potential stars, and there are some guys you can grab in the later half of the rounds. So like I said, there is a way to replace Barkley, but we have to wait and see. Because you know what?
Draft, baby. Yeah.
As the immortal words of Dom, it's draft, baby. Yeah. We're going to have a lot of fun videos coming up, but don't forget to go to NewYorkGiantsLive.com. Read the corresponding article about Saquon Barkley. Also, tune into OBB Replay Radio, which is also on the website. It's a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun stuff on the website, so make sure you stay tuned. And as always, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to ring that bell because you want to know why. That'll be awesome.